Blessings. So today I'm just talking about Mannaz and its posture and mantra, basically. As I said in my other videos, when I work with the mantras, I always just work with the seed sound, which in the case of Mannaz is that mm, Mannaz. That vibration of M, and like it'll resonate right in here, your mouth. And then as you start to work with the postures and the movements, you can utilize that vibration and bring it down into the different areas of your body that you want to vibrate at to help break up tension and activate the energy to get it moving and flowing. So with the with the posture, this is one of the it works really good for two-person postures. I just did it with my wife last night. We were naked, and we started just like you can look online. There's, and I'll do a link, of course, to people holding each other, standing face to face, and holding each other down on the hips and the back to create that the M shape. And that's really nice. And then we moved in, kind of closer and closer and closer, moving in and then collapsing the M into just one in Isa, and connecting our hearts. I mean, it was really powerful. So that's one thing you can do with it. The other that I've come across online is to have the hands crossed about around the back, like such. And while I don't really get how that represents the shape, the crossing is really helpful when working with some of the movements that go along with Mannaz. Another one that it goes with the younger Futhark is the one where it's held like up here, and again, I really love this one, and I'll show you how the movements can help get the energy flowing in the back. And then the one that I've come to work with is to have a mirror, and then just have the arms, crossing the arms and connecting yourself with the mirror, so that you actually create that reflectiveness and come to embody Mannaz within yourself, which is that's what it's all about for me. So just to go through them real quick. When you're moving from a static posture, where you're actually just either giving form, shape to the rune, or actually coming to embody it, which is what I seek to do, so that I actually become the rune. I experience the world through it. I learn how to work with it, its energies. But I talk about that on my website, so I'm not going to belabor that here. So for me, because I actually come from a long history with yoga and Tai Chi and martial arts, so that naturally, basically, that's what I do. So when it comes to the runes and moving into, because I'm just starting learning about rune yoga, which is just awesome, or rune gymnastics, however, like historically, that's originally what it was called. But today we just call it rune yoga because whatever, it works. We all understand that. All right, so for me, when I work with it, I start of course with the shape, embodying the shape. So here I am, I'm standing in the mirror, I'm connecting, I got the cross, I'm actually one of the pillars, one of the Isas, or yeah, just one of the Isas. Because then there's another way where you could do it with the mirror. So you're like this. So once again, you represent this, but now you're a wunyo, two wunyos connected instead of two Isas connected with the gebo. But I don't really use that one. But I mean, you could. I mean, whatever, if it works for you. So I start with this. And then after a while, I start to move, because when I've when you get into a yogic, a runic posture, basically, and stabilize it, and we'll talk about different things you can do with that later. But when you stabilize it and you start to utilize the mantra, in this case, you can feel the energy. In my case, I feel it like waves of like sound waves, I guess. But we all feel energy differently, so don't get caught up on that. I mean, you could feel it as fire, or as a lava lamp, or as a jolts, or there's just so many different ways, and I guess I'll put that on my website too, so you can check that out. But you feel it. You feel the vibration as it vibrates through your body, and then you allow yourself to relax. And in doing so, the energy starts to move, because like if we're sitting there and we're feeling the posture and we're tense, right? It like solidifies the energy, it hardens it, right? But it's definitely activating. It's definitely charging it, which is definitely what we want too, But in moderation and in balance, and not doing it stupid, such as like not preparing your body for extra energy. But anyhow, so you feel that energy, you feel it, and then you relax. You relax into the posture, and this is difficult, especially if you've been holding it for a few moments, because there's a tendency, after a couple of minutes, things start to, it gets hard. If you've done it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But by relaxing in that space, when you can relax, still holding the posture, so there is some tension, but it's only what is necessary to hold that posture. Because what happens, like, I don't know if you've had this experience, but you stub your finger and your whole body jerks. Everything jerks. And all of these muscles are activated. So in yoga, we tend to use, yoga. I'm just going to say yoga, Rune yoga. There's a tendency to tighten muscles that are not necessary to hold the posture. So when we start to relax, then the energy starts to flow. And in that movement, in my experience, it might not be for you, but in my experience, when I relax, then there's a tendency for my body to actually move. As long as I'm not tensely trying to control my body, there's a tendency for it to do stuff. And so now I'm recognizing that Mannaz, among other things, one of the things is that it activates and works with these part of the body up here. So now I find myself doing all these movements to stretch, and then I move into the other ones, the other versions, and I start to just move and feel it. I'm not trying to hurt myself. I'm not trying to touch my face to my asshole. I'm just subtly, ever so subtly moving, creating this movement and feeling it activate the different parts of that area. And then I move to the younger Futhar. And I just move, just allowing the body to feel that energy and break it up. Because part of this aspect of working with runes, all right? Because there's a lot of different ways we work with runes, but in this particular aspect, when we're actually physically seeking to embody their energy, we are seeking to invite more and more and more and more energy within these bodies. But we have to do it in a way that is balanced and gradual. You're not going to pick up 500 pounds of weights the first time you lift weights. You're going to build yourself up there. And that goes the same with the mind. It goes the same with the energetics of the body, the energy body. Right? We gradually move in a good way, in a strong way. And so that's like part of Rune Yoga, is being able to open up the pathways. And of course, it's fucking borrowed from yoga, which then obviously moves us into working with the serpentine snake, working with the energies of the bodies from that standpoint. There's no reason why we can't like grow and connect our systems together. We don't need to be so pure to say that's yoga, that's influence, those Germans borrowing shit from the Indians. Though, we are connected. I think our languages and, we're actually kind of genetically connected. So I don't know why that would even create this tension, because it all comes from the root source of who we are as a group. So anyhow, sorry, I get on rants. So allow yourself. I know that generally the way that Rune Yoga has been passed down is it's something that is like, still, and you just hold it for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, which, by the way, is pretty badass and very hard to do, and you'll be amazed at how fucked up our minds are when you get to that, 8th minute. The mind is very powerful. Anyhow, which is another aspect of working with Rune Yoga, right? So we do hold the postures, right? Not only to build a will, but to get control of our minds, right? Which, that's part of it. It's part of it. So anyhow, like I was saying, I know that Rune Yoga has been presented from its beginning from Merby, I think? I don't remember particularly, but one of the early German runologists. And it definitely has been passed, through Thorson and those that have adopted some of his tradition. It's hold for a certain amount of time, and you're building. It's building your strength. It's building your integrity. It's building your will, which are all freaking badass things to build, right? That we do want to build those things. But at the same time, there's more that we can introduce into the runic tradition regarding working with the body and these postures. Even though I don't believe the Vikings were with their big ass battle axe holding postures like this in the middle of the forest or something. I don't know, whatever. It seems unrealistic, but that's not the point. That doesn't mean that it's not beneficial and useful towards empowerment and a bunch of good stuff. So, come on, let's move on and let's connect together. So that's how it's presented, but you can allow movement and allow the energy, because what we are doing, we're tapping into the universal energy flowing through these runic filters for whatever reason, which then have manifests on the earth as certain powerful forces and energies and everything that goes along with that. So once we invite that, especially utilizing the mantra or the seed sounds, especially with the root sound, just the sound with the M. All right, peace. Be well.